Because Americans don't understand RB stuff. How much do you think you've spent on RB stuff so far?
I have spent hundreds of thousands.
Hello YouTube, this is my very first video back in Japan after literally 3.5 years of not being here. I am so excited. We're up here at North Course and I love digging up old relics from the past. So please introduce yourself. Give yourself a nice like 30-second intro.
Hey guys, Jake Drift Squid Jones here from good old South Australia. And we've actually done some interviews before, but it's always been you in America, I'm in Australia. And because you got real interested in my RB history.
Everybody did.
And then, well, that's true.
Yeah.
And then also the Team Orange history of where I did drive for him in a
And
diver.
then your crazy BMW with the RB28 in it.
Yep.
If that's what you call it.
Yep. Yeah.
That car is nuts. That got you a lot of like interest. Because like I didn't see your Team Orange stuff back then, but I saw your RB28 stuff and went back. Okay, so he has a YouTube channel. Plug your YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, so everything's under Drift Squid. That's for everything, like the Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. But obviously YouTube's the main sort of platform we all use these days. Obviously I'm on that stupid TikTok thing too, but I don't.
I'm not. I won't do it. I won't do it. Okay, so real quickly, if you'd like to find out more about him, we have, if you search Lone Star Drift, Drift Squid, I think you can find, or Jake Jones, you can go back and you can find like his story. I think we did a wonderful story where he talked about drifting here at Ebisu almost 21 years ago.
Easy.
Oh, 12. I cannot keep time straight, I'm so old. 12 years ago. And a Team Orange car. He's done so many things I'm jealous of. And then we did a whole video. So that was like and he drifted in China, I think, and all over the world. And then we did another video about his RB28 BMW. That's a really cool video and it sounds amazing at the beginning. So if you want to see that stuff, you can search for that, but we're going to talk about other stuff today. So I'm going to give him two choices real quickly. He can either tell us how much he spent on RB engines over the years, or he can tell me how YouTubing for the last, like, because he's been making videos now for how long? The whole time.
2009, yeah.
Yeah, so 20 years. So no, but you've been making videos for a long time. You want to tell us, or we can do both.
No, let's do both.
What do you want to talk about?
We'll do both because everyone wants to know everything.
First of all, let's talk about the RB stuff. Well, I can split into 2 videos and get 2 videos.
Ah.
Yeah, so first of all, the RB stuff. Don't tell me like I traded 4 engines and like I had no money in this engine because I traded things. Like how much do you really have in like RB stuff over the years? Why are they so expensive or why are they so cheap? Because Americans don't understand RB stuff. How much do you think you've spent on RB stuff so far?
I have spent hundreds of thousands, like I would have, that's no joke. But I blame Nomikin for this. So the first time I seen Nomikin in his silver 34 4-door and heard the RB, yeah, that got me hooked. So like to build a basic RB25 that I use in my Silvia, it's actually not that expensive. You just need to obviously build it right and do the correct things. It's a pain in the ass because all you JZ guys, you just throw a JZ in the car and
because they're better.
Yeah, okay. But it just works. Like, but yeah, RBs, they need love. Everyone knows that. And then the BMW one I did because I wanted it to rev more than anyone else's and sound better and appeal to sponsors more. I spent that engine, like the long block alone's probably 40, 50 grand.
Oh my God. That's
like,
dedication.
Yeah, like, but that, you know, that's like.
Could have just had a stock JZ.
Yeah, but.
No, I'm joking.
They just don't sound good.
Oh,
like,
so the RBs sound better than JZs, you think?
Oh, it's 10, you've heard it.
I have.
It's freaking insane. Like
some of that is like attention to detail with a really nice manifold and exhaust, you know what I mean? Like, and the RPM and everything else. So you think if you had all that attention on a JZ, that the RB would still sound better?
100%.
Interesting.
Because of the head design.
Oh.
Yeah. So the head design that we created with the RB26, like we sell these heads now for like, I think they're 15 grand, which is actually
You do, or a company that works with you, or?
So I work with PowerTune.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, we sell, basically my RBM3 is like a platform to showcase what we can do.
Interesting.
And now we're building a new car.
With an RB?
Yeah, but with an RB billet bottom end and also the world's first billet head.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And why is that? Just for weight or for more power or what?
Just because the heads are now the weak point. They're cracking on like all the 2,500 horsepower drag cars. So,
But I mean, you can't really run that much in a drift car anyways. So is it just like flexing? Because like you're probably limited in a drift car to like 1,100, 1,200 wheel.
yeah, this is more of just showcasing that they can work and be reliable. So it's not like we're not going to use 2,000 horsepower, but it's just to show that they can sit on freaking limiter for 2-3 minutes and destroy a set of tires, sort of thing.
So you've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on RBs. Was that a good choice, or do you think just having like one V8 the entire time would have been better?
I can't stand V8. I can't do
stand
it.
it?
I just, I can't do it. I
So
have
you'd
no,
rather spend the money?
Yeah, I have no regrets with
Makes
what
sense.
I've done.
You're like a stance guy. You're like, I only like low cars. I will quit drifting if it's not a low car. It has to be an RB.
I just
So
can't stand...
what did you drive yesterday?
These ear bleeding 350Zs.
Okay, so a 350Z. So you will drive other cars.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just don't like it.
No.
Okay.
No, I'd never own one.
And why so you just like the sound of Nomuken's car, and that was why?
It was just like, the first time I heard it, I think he was battling, I can't remember, but it was this tiny little course, and I don't know, the sound just got me hooked. And then obviously I looked into it. Back then we didn't have Facebook, all that stuff. So that's how I come across Forrest Wang as well. And obviously his SR actually didn't sound that bad back then, because he was still in Hawaii drifting. But then every time I heard an RB, they were just sounding better and better and better. And then, yeah, I just got hooked.
So a quick question. Nissan knew it was a good idea to get rid of the RB. And they moved on to the, no, I'm not making I guess I am making a joke, but I was gonna say they moved on to the VR38.
Yep.
Why not move on with like the VR38 and allow a huge billion-dollar company to do all the research and development and like jump into a VR38? I understand you've got an extra manifold and all this complexity of like a V engine, but that's a lot easier than a billet head and a billet block. Because like you could easily make 1,200 out of a VR38 with very minor stuff.
Easy. They're making 2,000 now with them. Like
Make 3,500 in Texas on the street.
Yeah. But once
Supposedly, I don't
again,
know anything about that Texas 2K stuff.
yeah, but once again, they sound shit.
Oh, so it's a sound. They do sound awful, by the way.
They're disgusting. Like, if someone could make a VR sound good overnight, instant millionaire. Like, if you could design, a manifold that would make them sound good.
So it's really about the sound and really about that stuff. It's not about the usefulness of the RB. It's not.
No.
Interesting.
It's like it's hard to use my car against other cars in drifting. Like, that's a no-brainer. Like, doesn't have the torque. It doesn't have the mid-range power level that you need for drifting. Well, not need, but like makes your life easier for drifting. It's a challenge, but at the end of the day, I spend my whole day listening to a freaking good sounding car. Like, I love it.
So here's the $1 million question directly at this. You have stance guys, you have like Jay-Z and SR and all these different people, the RB guys. You all make like a critical decision somewhere in your drifting career or like in your life that this is the thing that I love, and you love the RB and you stuck with it. Has that treated you well in the end and been worth it? Because I think, you understand, you see all these things around you with the same type of people that get latched onto a super simple idea like that, and then that defines them, which I think an RB defines you. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Like you weren't even, you're platform agnostic for the chassis more so than you were for the engine platform. So did it treat you well that you chose the RB platform and stuck with it for 20 years?
It's this one's a hard one to swallow. So 100% no.
Really?
No way. Like, I could have, look at, what's his name? That Rome dude.
Rome Charpentier?
He put so an RB engine that I've put together, that amount of money is probably what he spent doing a whole season in FD.
Yeah.
And he's just got a BMW with a basic LS, realistically.
With a supercharger on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's competing in FD. Like, the one thing I didn't have when I had my license, I built a car and all this. The only thing I didn't have to get to FD was money. If I didn't spend it all on that Beamer, I could have taken my Silvia and just try to make it all work, thrown an LS in it and be competitive. But I didn't.
The second part of that $1 million question was, did it make you famous within the world where, like, remember Nomura Ken, he was an R34 guy, or Forrest Wang was the green S chassis guy with a JZ or SR, or Chelsea was the BMW guy forever, and now the Mustang guy. You are the RB guy, just like Littler somebody, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Was it worthwhile making that your dynasty, I guess, in drifting, if that makes sense?
Probably not. Like, realistically, looking at the following and whatnot I have, I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
Like, if people wanted to follow me, it's not because of the RB. Like,
Yeah.
maybe a lot of people have learnt stuff because I've stuck with it and I've shared all my knowledge on YouTube. But yeah, if I was to rewind, I'd probably do it all the same again. But if there's new people out there that want to progress and like get somewhere, just do whatever you have to make it happen. Like, go down the cheaper path and do
Okay,
it.
RB people, you've heard it. Give up. Get rid of them. He said it.
I mean, if you got the money, stick with it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm too proud. Didn't want to leave it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, too stubborn maybe. Frickin', I don't know. But I don't regret what I've done. But I know that I could have gone further if I got rid of it. And
So the RB was a limitation in your life, and you completely regret ever having heard of the RB.
no.
No, but I was just gonna say, that sounds like a joke, but it's also real. Like, you know it was a bad idea, but you enjoyed it, and you have Stockholm Syndrome a little bit. I mean, I have Stockholm Syndrome too, if you know what that is. Like, you know what Stockholm Syndrome is?
No.
Oh, it's when like you start to love your captor, if you know what I mean, like a hostage situation. The hostages want to stay; they don't want to leave.
Yep.
Because they grow attached to them. I was gonna say I do the same thing with drifting. Like, I'm here drifting, just like you're here drifting. Like, we keep doing the same thing. We find some type of happiness in what we do, or like we get our focus on it and our obsession.
Yeah.
And it allowed you to focus on something technical and take it to the end, which is really cool because like in America, no one takes RBs to the end.
No.
You're one of the few people that really you're like the X-Vitermi? R33 or something? Remember that 13,000 RPM R33 RB like 20 years ago or 10 years ago?
No.
Oh, I'll show it to you later. But there was a 13,000, I think it was like 13,000 RPM RB. And I remember that was what everybody pulled up for decades, showing like how awesome the RB was, or, you know, whatever. A lot of people will like point to you as the person that really pushed RBs within drifting probably farther than most people.
Yeah.
And that kind of puts you on the map in some ways. And sometimes we don't feel like we're around famous YouTubers, like Jimmy Oaks and Adam, and everybody will be here this weekend, and then maybe we feel, because both of us aren't as successful as them on YouTube, we were like, well, that didn't work out. Like, but I mean, we're also around like the most famous fuckers on the earth for this stuff. So I was gonna say it's up and down.
Did you see the video I made after, like, me drifting up the mountain?
Yeah, of course, that was awesome.
But that was after our interview though. So
I completely remember it. It was super cool. I remember there's a little bit of wobble on the camera, if you remember, from like the engine harmonics or something.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just proving I watched the video.
Yeah. So
from like the front camera.
So that was like my way of showcasing the car, obviously the look of it, and then also the sound. Like the two, I didn't put any music in there. There was no slow-mo. It was just purely based on the car and the sound. And that the whole point of me spending the stupid amount of money I spent on making that video was to hopefully entice companies to come on board and keep it going.
Did it work?
No.
That one's tough because, was that your whole thought?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say that was tough because I think if you did that 10 years, I also just realized if I fall, I die. I don't know if the camera could catch, so if I start falling, grab me. But 10 years earlier, 5 years earlier, that would have worked. But there's too much media now, if that makes sense. And like something goes viral or something doesn't, it's too hard for us to make something go viral now.
Yeah. Well, this
10
video,
years ago, that would have.
Yeah, like this video will probably end up getting more views than.
I know, I remember, I think I messaged you about that. I was like, how's that video doing? And it didn't do nearly as well as you thought because it like didn't premiere and go big. Because I remember you did like a countdown. It's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I remember all of the, like, I'm proving I watched this video. But I remember that. I was super excited when it came out, but like YouTube didn't launch the video. And that was kind of like the timing of like, you're just 10 years late sometimes on that. Now YouTube makes you build up an audience for 10 years and do it. And like if you watch the Ken Block videos, they were all on different YouTube channels, and they forced those videos to go big by buying views. And like when I say buying views, I think like if it was on the Ford channel, Ford probably did a $200,000 ad buy on Jalopnik and all these different places, because they wanted that video to go huge, and like if it fell flat, it'd be a disaster. So they needed that video on day one to have so many sources that YouTube shot up the thing and it got 50 million views. They did a good job, but obviously you didn't do that, and you didn't probably like think about that.
Nah.
So you would have had to have all your partners release it, like Jalopnik and like Speed Hunters and like all these influential people hit it at once.
Well, I was supposed to have Speed Hunters and Hoonigan share it, but it was the same time that...
But it doesn't do great for them, so they don't do it. So.
And they had a new like Hoonigan, like Ken Block video that same week released. So it was really bad timing.
Yeah. That's so tough too, because like your heart and soul's in it.
And lots of money.
Yeah.
That costs so much money.
It was a cool video though. And at least in the very like, how do I say? It was also for you. That's like a snapshot of your life. You'll look back at that, you're proud of it. Sucks it costs a lot of money, but a lot of people go out and buy a new like sports car and it depreciates 20 grand in 1 year. They regret it, like all the interest, they get rid of it. You had more joy probably doing that, and like people remember you, and like it gave you probably more back in your life than just going and buying a new car.
Exactly.
And losing on depreciation. So I try not to get my feelings hurt on that.
Yeah, and like when I met Jimmy and Grant, like they obviously didn't know who I was, and then I showed them the video and they're like, what the hell, I've never seen this before. And it was,
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That is one video. We're gonna cut and do another one. And as always, I cannot do these videos without the help of the sponsor, so thank you so much to BC Racing Custom Coilovers, WhatMonstersDo.com, they have a new logo right beneath their old one, NK Wheels, Grip Royal, KBD Body Kits, Valino Tires, Heatwave Visual, Vapetasia, and Spec Clutches. Thank you to all these companies and so many other people, drivers, helpers, friends, everybody makes this possible. Thank you guys.